Have you been thinking that Christopher Columbus was the first person to reach North America? Well, you would be wrong. I was. My name is Leif Erikson and I am a Viking. Living in what is today known as Scandinavia, we were great sailors. Vikings were known for ruthlessly raiding and mercilessly ransacking smaller colonies and for their violence. Like most Vikings, that was the way my dad lived. Because of his red fiery hair and his uncontrollable temper, my dad was called Eric the Red. Although I was like my dad in a myriad of ways, I gave up a life of pillaging to become a missionary. Additionally, I grew up to be an excellent sailor, which pleased my dad, and was very curious about lands beyond Greenland. I came from a strong Viking family where I learned many skills to survive in the savage wilderness. However, there were some ways that I wanted to live a different and more peaceful life. When my dad grew up in Iceland, he was exiled for brazenly killing his neighbor like a lion attacking a zebra. Setting off from Iceland, my dad sailed until he found what looked like a good spot to settle. He named this place Greenland. I want it to sound appealing, so more travelers will settle there, thought my dad. It worked. People were convinced. As I grew, my dad realized that, although I was young, I was the most proficient in my family at hunting and sailing. In the year 997 AD, my dad told me to go visit King Olaf on a ship loaded with gifts. The king told me about God and I became a Christian. He told me to preach Christianity. He told me to preach God's word to Greenland. Proclaiming Christianity to Greenland, I helped the colony grow and prosper. During my visit, the king and I talked about a man named Bjarni Herjolfsson, who was a great sailor. On one of his journeys, Bjarni had spotted land. The crew wanted to get out and explore this new mysterious land, but Bjarni told them not to go. Go and find that island, urged the king. I returned to Greenland and earnestly spread God's word. Many became Christians. Reluctantly, my dad built a beautiful church, but only because my mom had become a Christian. I had successfully converted Greenland to Christianity, but where was the unknown land which the king had told me about? So that I could find the mysterious land, I asked Bjarni, which way did you sail when you found that land? Bjarni told me he had sailed west, and I gathered my crew. We journeyed for days until finding 2 other islands before finally finding the land we were looking for. This land had copious amounts of captivating caribou to hunt. Grapes were seemingly as plentiful as stars in the sky. Because of this, I named this place Vinland. Me and my crew decided to stay in Vinland for the winter. Planning ahead, we happily gathered timber there because wood was scarce in Greenland. In the spring, the crew and I sailed home on a ship loaded with quality timber and juicy grapes. Until my final days, I kept the traditions of the Vikings and fearlessly walked in my father's footsteps. I wasn't cool like my dad. I was virtuous and converted Greenland to Christianity. Although unaware at the time, I was the first person to discover North America. Exploring Vinland, I found grapes and timber, which really helped my people. I became ruler when my dad died. Most significantly, I truly was a great king for Greenland. The colony prospered. Hopefully now people will remember that I, Leif Erikson, was not only a renowned Viking warrior, but also the discoverer of North America.